Hello everybody and welcome to a short Dwarf Fortress tutorial. In this video we're going to be talking about guild halls. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this is a relatively recent mechanic that was added to Dwarf Fortress not so long ago. It is a mechanic that I think is kind of important to talk about. It's very similar to zones or hospitals or taverns or temples or libraries, aside from kind of one specific wrinkle. They don't actually require anything and are probably just as, if not more important than the previous. Now, the reason guild halls are important is because that's where children can learn skills. By default, the only jobs that children can do is hauling and some cleaning, and they're really not that focused on skilled labor. However, if you make a guild hall, children can be trained kind of like a school. So the way guild halls work is it's a zone not too dissimilar to a tavern or a hospital or even a temple for that matter. However, it's focused on one particular style of job. So you can have a woodworkers guild hall. You could have a metalworkers guild hall. You can have a doctors guild hall. You could have a stoneworkers guild hall. And you can set them to, just like any other zone, public for anybody, locked to only members for the guild hall, or citizens and residents only. If you lock it to citizens and residents only and not guild members only, then anybody in your fortress can visit. And anybody with skills in that particular class of skill can teach the other dwarves in your fortress that skill, making it extremely useful as a way to get a bunch of skilled doctors, or maybe train everybody on ambushing, or perhaps give everybody some skills in crossbow early on without really having to do anything else aside from allow some dwarves to have free time. So the way we're going to make a guild hall real quick is we are going to place a zone. Now, we're making this of our own accord. Nobody's asked us to make this. However, in Dwarf Fortress, the dwarves will demand a guild hall if you make them wait too long and you manage to get enough dwarves of a particular skill set in your fortress. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making ourselves a little stone crafter's hall right here. It's, as you can see, it's kind of just in the corner of my workshops here, and generally just kind of in the way of things, but that's kind of the point. I just kind of want to show you that they don't need to be anything fancy. So now that we've made that zone real quick, it's just set as a meeting hall, we're going to set this area to be smoothed up just so that it starts to look a little bit nicer. We're going to open the zone screen back up and give it our specifications. So we're going to set it, we're going to click on this little plus sign on the shield here after reselecting the zone. Keep in mind, you can select the zone hotkey by hitting N. Now that not by hitting N, by hitting Z. Once you've selected the zone and clicked this shield, we're going to select it as a guild hall. Now we have several choices. We could set it as a miner hall, a woodworker hall, carpenter hall, bowyer hall, bowyers for crossbows and bows, woodcutters for chopping down trees, stoneworker is for stones, which is what I'm going to ask for. Now, as you can see, it says 5 workers, no established guild. When that number goes up, they will establish a guild on their own terms, and they will request that you give them a guild hall. At that point, it's going to have specific value amounts, and you're going to need to put some statues in there probably. But because we are just building it, we don't have any value requirements. It's not going to stop me, though. We are still going to give it furniture. So we've now assigned our guild hall, and suddenly these dwarves are going, oh no, we're not supposed to be here, most likely, because they're smoothing floors in an area that they're not allowed to be in. Once this meeting place gets up to a value of 2,000, it'll be allowed, or it'll be what a guild would request. So now that we've clicked this little magnifying glass, we can see our details. So now only members can visit if guild is established, which is what happens when you get that certain number of dwarves of the guild. But I'm just going to set it so that citizens can visit. So any citizen in our fortress can visit this guild hall, including children. We're going to need to add a little bit of furniture. And there's a quick tip I want to throw in here as well. I haven't made any yet, but it's worth noting that children are attracted to areas where there are toys. So if we make a little stockpile here, and specifically, if we want to train our children on the skill of this guild hall, we can jump into this stockpile, set it to custom, go to finished goods, and type in toys. So now toys are allowed in this stockpile. So as our fortress gains toys, they will be allowed to be stored in this finished goods stockpile right here. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to add a little bit of value to the room. So we are going to throw down some furniture, and by that I mean just some tables. Just give these dwarves somewhere to sit while they work and learn. We've run out of tables, so that is perfect. And we're also going to throw in some thrones for this little here room. And I think that that is kind of the quickest little example of a simple guild hall. Keep an eye on the value of the guild hall if it's requested by your citizens. Make sure you get that value up to 2,000, otherwise they will be quite disappointed in your inability to create a competent guild hall. Guild hall's value is quite easy to raise up rather quickly if you engrave the walls using the engraving tool, and also quite easy to speed up if you just put a bunch of statues in there. Generally, I would also recommend making them their own enclosed zone, but just for the sake of this video, I wanted to kind of show you that they don't really need to be a whole lot to be a guild hall. And as you can see, this child is already hanging out here. Thank you very much for watching this video about guild halls, a very important way to train your children in skills that they can't otherwise train in. If you want to see more videos like this, there's a huge playlist of them. And if you want to watch my face as I play video games on the internet, you can go to twitch.tv/BLINDIRL and watch me live on Twitch. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one.